Welcome to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast with Elliot K. and Jose Ucar. Every week we bring the tips, tools, and strategies for you to become a world-class public speaker. We bring you guests, experts, and authorities in the field of public speaking to enrich you and enhance your public speaking journey. Remember to subscribe, rate, and comment. And now, please welcome your hosts, Elliot and Jose.
It is another episode of the Public Speaking Expert Podcast. Oh my gosh, it's another episode. As in case you didn't know, they come out every Saturday. So you haven't liked, subscribed, and shared it with all your friends. Where have you been? It's true, ladies and gentlemen. What you heard is true. It's true. Jose is now 40. The rumors are true.
No, goodness me. Yes, it is true. It is true. And it is also true that every Saturday we will be releasing another episode. So you can listen to it. If you subscribe today, if you haven't already, most importantly, go and share it. Go and share it because what we're giving away here, well, you know it if you've been listening to it. So who am I to tell you? Go and share. Benefit from this. Go and apply. Even before we tell you, think about it right away. You're starting to listen. Oh, apply. Apply what? What we're about to tell you. Boom.
Exactly. And of course, if you leave us a beautiful comment and send us a picture of it, we will send you a copy of a book, my book, until we write our book. But till then, if you do want a copy, look, I'm going to give it gift. I'm paying for it to arrive to you. I just sent one out across to Singapore, no less. Right? So wherever in the world, send us a picture on the Elliot and Jose show on Instagram, and then, I will send you a copy of the book. But make sure you leave us a nice comment. I won't say it's a horrible comment. I won't. No book.
No, we will hunt you down. We will hunt you down if you leave a bad comment and also if you don't apply what we're sharing here. And by the way, people, Elliot has sent a book all the way to Singapore, and I live only a few hours away from him, and he hasn't sent me one of his books.
I sent you my fourth book.
Okay, yeah, you did send that one. That is very true. Then let me just.
Jose, I just don't trust where you live, because when I showed up at your doorstep to surprise you, this poor mature woman answered the door, going, "What? No, Jose here." I was like, I don't think you really live where you say you live.
Yeah, no, I don't give my address to just anybody, But now that I trust you a bit more, I may do, Elliot K.
Are you undercover? Are you like undercover?
Well, I've always been undercover. I'm the Venezuelan living in, I cannot tell you, people, but you can find out if you're curious enough. Elliot, before we crack on, and you've shared the book, by the way, I love them all, especially, the number 4, and I read the number 5 as well.
Yeah,
the fifth
you
book.
Gave us a testimonial for that.
Yeah, and I really like them. Different and yet powerful. So people, do check them out. And also, Elliot, what are you up to this week? Or what are you up to before year end in terms of events, things that you're doing that you would like people to join you on, click things around, downloads? I know you've just created a lovely new resource about podcasts and places where people can speak and things like that. So,
I forgot about that. Nice one. It's like 2 weeks old, and I'm like, what is he talking about? That feels so long ago now. So obviously we've got our normal master classes, which I think there'll be 2 or more. There's one coming up, at the time of recording, there's one this Thursday, but it depends when you listen to it. But they're regular, so if you go on the website, you can see the master classes there. We've got Club Night, which is dedicated to storytelling and hope, which, Jose, you're going to be speaking at. So all our members on the 10K Mastermind are going to be telling 5-minute stories. So that's going to be a beautiful way to close the year out. I believe it's the 15th of December. What else am I up to? I think that's it for now that comes to mind. Yes, I've created a resource. So if anyone wants it, basically it's 20 places to speak. It's UK specific for now. And then over 100 podcasts to be interviewed, not including ours, ironically. You can get access to it. So if you just, sorry about that cough. If you just want to send me a message, send us a DM, us in your LinkedIn, and you can get involved. You can download it. And as a bonus, I give what is called a presentation checklist. So when you do get booked, or you're having those conversations with potential bookers, the kind of questions to ask, what to think about. It's even got a list of all the equipment you need to show up with and everything like that. So very practical presentation. It's completely complimentary. I can't remember the URL off the top of my head, to be completely honest. So just send us a DM and I will send it to you. So that's pretty awesome. What about you, Jose?
We can also share it. Yeah, I've got the live Thursday, but we can also share it, and then we'll speak to our lovely PAs to help us with that, sharing those resources. Exactly. The team McQueen, the Public Speaking Experts team. Yes, I'm running every Thursday a live show called the Speak to Sell Yourself and Your Business Show. That is one of those things. And Well, as we spoke on our previous episode, I'm getting involved on with this TEDx Sheffield Holland University. So I'm going to be coaching some incredible people, and I love the fact that I'm going to be coaching Sarah as well, Elliot. That you already mentioned. I received that email as you were saying it. I checked that email. This comes from the previous episodes. If you haven't listened to the previous episode, you would like to do a
You need to
TEDx, you
listen.
know someone who would like to do a TEDx, then go to the Public Speaking Experts podcast. Yes, on YouTube, here. Now we're live streaming as well. And if you want to get in touch with me with regards to the Speak to Sell Yourself and Your Business show, then just drop me a message or just go to my website, which, by the way, I'm working on a new website, Elliot. I'm very excited about that. New logo and everything else based on everything, all the different changes that have happened this year. So I'm working on something, more specific to what I do. And, clear message, because one of the things we tend to speak about here is having a clear message that people understand. Because otherwise you confuse people don't buy. And I think we've got another episode to dedicate to this, because today is about Elliot K. What is it about today?
It's about nerves, right? We realize we've done loads
Nerves.
around confidence and we've done loads about all kinds, but we never actually talked about coping strategies or how to deal with nerves. So today is literally dedicated to literal strategies of how you can deal with nerves, because that comes up whether you're starting out or not. It comes up when you're stepping up to bigger rooms. It comes up when you're maybe sharing a stage with someone that you idolize, or someone you've always wanted to share a stage with, whoever that is for you. Maybe invited to talk in a conference that you've always wanted to speak at. So nerves show up at different times in different ways. And foolish are the speakers that think, I don't get nervous anymore, because you know what, there's always going to be something that comes your way and hits you in the face, like I don't have a sound effect, so that was my sound effect.
Okay.
Do you like that?
I felt
Okay.
it, yeah.
There you go. So today we're literally going to give practical ways to do it, but let's talk a little bit about the challenges around nerves. What do they do to people, Jose, when they don't deal with their nerves?
Well, I hear this all the time. You get,
Wait,
yeah.
wait, no,
Wait,
you know what? I
wait,
didn't do that
wait.
right. That's on me. That's on me.
Okay,
That's on
okay.
me. That's my fault. Ready?
Boo.
So, Jose, tell us some of the challenges around nerves and what it does to people.
I've heard so many different things that happen to people dealing with nerves. And one of them, their mind. People come to me and say, Jose, my mind goes blank. I lose my train of thought. I get all shaky, sweaty. I cannot vocalize. I cannot speak. My voice trembles. I cannot, I cannot. I froze. I sometimes, I dread it so much that my belly hurts. So stomach ache and everything else. People actually suffer. They don't sleep. And not just the day before, actually, they start, losing sleep a few days before the event itself. So it's really nerve-wracking in every way, and it affects so many other areas of their lives. So they get overstressed, and they don't perform, and there is a ripple effect. So those are just some of the things, and I'm sure people, you're listening to this, you may contribute and think, actually, I've experienced that as well, and that other thing, whatever that might be. There's so much going on at a mental level, which then impacts all the physiology and everything else, as we know.
Yeah.
How about you,
Of
Elliot?
course. Well, obviously, there's fear of judgment as well, fear of rejection.
Of course.
Then I think, if we talk about during speaking, right? Nerves, not dealing with nerves during speaking, or when you go wrong, and then it throws the whole presentation. Then, of course, your whole presence changes to how you are presenting, and because you're double fighting, right? You're fighting the fact that you've gone wrong, but then you're also fighting the voices in your head that come as a result of that as well, right? There's that aspect. Then, of course, there's the post, right? Because if you haven't dealt with nerves, then there's the whole I bombed. And then to get up and speak again becomes twice as hard, if not, and that becomes harder and harder unless you actually deal with nerves. So I think there's various aspects to being nervous. And I think, like we talked about at the beginning, nerves show up at different times in different ways. And suddenly you're like, whoa, where did that just come from? I thought I had this. And then, right? There you go. So what we'd love to do right now is talk about different actual coping strategies, right? Because that way people can actually go away, research things, look at things, and actually work on them. So what are some ways, some coping strategies? Jose Ucar.
I'm going to go very, very basic here, okay? And I want you to become aware of how you think before a presentation, or actually how you think when you know you're going to be delivering a presentation. Okay? I want you to think about for a moment and experience everything that happens right before. I have a presentation next week. Now that I know it, what's happening in your, in your body, everything else, but also what are the sequences of thoughts that are leading to that? Because then you may realize, wow, yeah, I'm actually very nervous. And Elliot already mentioned this, because I think, because you don't know it's going to happen, that people are not going to like me. People are not going to take me seriously. I'm already thinking in my head that next week or in a month's time, I'm going to say something wrong and I'm going to make a mistake and I'm going to ridicule myself. People are going to laugh, whatever that might be. So, which is being problem based. Because if you think about it, if you are more solution based, the nerves are going to be there, but the resourcefulness in order to overcome them and do something different that works for you is going to be very different. And I keep on pointing to my head because that's the mind, the way in which you think. Become aware, and if your problem state, visualizing and thinking about everything that's going to go wrong, prepare for it, yes, and also think about the things that can go right. Become more resourceful by becoming aware of how you're thinking. That would be the first one. Elliot, over to you.
Well, you mentioned it, so I might as well go down this road. And so visualization, I think, is a very powerful tool, right? And I think if you sit there prior to the talk, obviously, because if you did this in the middle of the talk, a bit weird, and literally visualize your whole talk, all of it, slide by slide or section by section, and you visualize. It's also known as a mental rehearsal. So you're mentally rehearsing it. That's what the Soviet Union did way back when there was the Soviet Union, and all the athletes shot onto the scene and won all these gold medals, and they mastered the art of visualization because it fires off the same neurons in your muscles. Same, visualize it. Now, what's important when you're using visualization is that you actually visualize with a good feeling, because you visualize with a bad feeling, you're going to have an associative bad feeling. But visualization, I did this with a guy I was working with who had a terrible experience with confidence. And he came to me and we worked with him to do another they gave him another chance on presentation. He completely bombed, and we worked heavily on visualization. And he visualized all aspects, right? So he visualized him delivering the talk, he visualized his tonality, he visualized how he felt, he visualized the audience. And you can do this at different times. You don't have to visualize all of those aspects at once. So when we did the visualization, we broke it down. First, we focused on visualizing him delivering. Then we visualized the tonality. Then we visualized, how everyone looked. So we broke it down, right? And as a result of that, he was not only 10 times more confident, but it was very familiar. So when it came to delivering, because he did a mental rehearsal or cognitive rehearsal, then when it delivered, didn't feel so strange or so foreign or so weird because he'd rehearsed it. And then the next one I'll jump on to very quickly before I hand it back to you, Jose, is meditation. Right? Now, meditation is different from visualization. Again, it depends on the strand of meditation, but generally meditation is about emptying your mind, getting present, allowing those thoughts to leave, allowing those feelings. So when you come on stage, you're calm, you're composed. And you don't have to sit there for 2 hours in a forest with a banana up your bottom, right? You can just take 10 minutes and just close your eyes, meditate, get grounded. You can use a soundtrack, you can use guided meditation, you can whatever you want to do, but it's just about taking 10 minutes to empty your mind so then you're ready to go. So that's the other one I wanted to mention as well.
Love it. Love all the visualization, and the more you do it, remember that this is a muscle as well. So the more you do all of these things, the better you get at it and the greater results. Because it's just the same thing. You're focusing on the negative on many occasions. Well, imagine if you started doing this more often, how powerful it would be. Also, admit that you are nervous. Admit that you are suffering from something, whatever that might be for you. Admit it, yes, because Elliot, similar to you working with someone, and this person said, I cannot share that, with these people. I cannot say that I'm nervous. I cannot share my true self. That is one of the best things you can do. And again, I'm not saying that you're not going to prepare for your presentation. Admit it to yourself to start with. Yeah, you know what? I'm nervous. I'm only a human being. That's one of the conversations we can be very different to actually saying, I'm crap, I'm really bad, I'm nervous again. Yeah, that is actually going to hinder what you do. That's one thing, having that clarity. Also, I would like to share, since Elliot spoke about meditation, I would like to share the 4-4-4-4. This is just basically, and there are different types of breathing, but 4 seconds. So in total, you have 16 seconds. So you take an in breath, and you breathe in. Yeah.
Yeah, I
you,
hope so.
well, I hope so, exactly. You breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold it for another 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, and then you wait for 4 seconds. You see, 16 seconds can put you at another level, at ease, and ready. If you do this more often, again, it's adding on to what we are sharing with you to deal with this. There is also, I would like to add, and I love doing it, record yourself. Okay? This is another way to practice. You record yourself. Nowadays we have the phone, you can jump on a Zoom call and you look at yourself, if it's actually more real to what you're going to be doing. The mirror, believe it or not, still works. And if you're not ready for that bit yet, do it. If you kind of, I don't like my face and I don't like my voice, well, start with either of them. So start just recording yourself on the phone, as in just the voice. Deal with it and rehearse. That's very important. People say, I just show up. Well, when you actually have prepared a lot and you feel comfortable with the delivery, that is also going to help you when you go the day you go and do it. And then if you combine the rehearsing with the visualization that Elliot mentioned, with the breathing, with the meditation, OMG, and I'm sure Elliot has got more to share. So over to you, Elliot K. Paka, paka.
So before we carry on, just to remind you that we do have an Instagram account, the Elliot and Jose Show, and if you do want to listen to us live, you can catch us on Clubhouse midday every day, Monday to Friday, UK time. And of course, that if you do want to find out more about what Jose does, there'll be a link in the bio. And of course, you want to find out what I do, there's a link in the bio. If you want to book us to speak at your events, both of us, individually or together, just reach out and do it. And if you do want to get a copy of our book, just leave us a comment and send us a picture of it, and we'll send you a copy of currently my book. And to that point, so just wanted to throw that in there.
Before you carry on, that's fantastic, and I love it. Thank you very much for sharing on our behalf. So whenever you play the music, am I supposed to share something while the music is playing, or is it right after the music? Because I know sometimes we've done it.
After. It's kind
It's
of
right
like
after.
it's a bit hard because it's not really a bed. You're talking about bed music, right? It's not really a bed music. We could come up with some bed music, but then we just have to practice and do it better. But we could do
because
that
otherwise
music isn't designed to be spoken over because it's
it didn't flow.
We need to get something that's more like, and then we can do it more like designed to be spoken over. So I can look for something like that if you want to speak over.
Yeah, let's do that, because as I was saying it and kind of rapping on top of the music and everything else, I felt, the nerves. It felt bad. I was, my head was actually, is this actually sounding okay? Is it not? We experienced this anytime. Since we were speaking about it, I thought I would share it, because in my mind there was that dialogue. And when that dialogue persists, it's going to impact your results. So it's actually how quickly you deal with that in order to crack on. And what I've done now is actually share it, being vulnerable and sharing it with Elliot and sharing it with you. That happened. So let's discuss it. And the podcast is a safe environment for the two of us, of course, and for you people to experience as well. So over to you, Elliot K.
All right, let's talk a couple more, and then you'll do a couple more, and then I think we're good. So I'm going to talk about because there's loads of NLP, EFT, and KFC. I think KFC is my favorite. No, I'm joking. Of course, KFC isn't a real one, but let's NLP. I'll leave to you actually, because that's your thing. Obviously I've studied it. But I'll talk about a little bit about, again, you need to find what works for you, people. You need to find what you do. There's a lot more. So let's just quickly talk about emotional freedom technique. It's based on acupressure points. It's points in your body which you tap, and then you say an affirmation. I think the biggest thing, and the affirmation vary depending on who you trains you to. I mean, it's backed by Paul McKenna, it's backed by scientists. Equally, it's poo-pooed by scientists. So it really depends what you choose to believe and what works for you. But you tap on certain parts of your body, which, again, if you Google EFT, and then you say a variety of affirmations that go with it. But the biggest one is, even though I'm completely nervous, I completely and utterly love, trust, and forgive myself. And I think that's really a great affirmation when you're feeling nervous, is that self-forgiveness and knowing that you completely love, trust, and forgive yourself. And you just let go. And I do it still to today. I've done it for years. It's just a real grounding presence. The idea behind emotional freedom technique is it moves trapped energy, and nerves can be trapped energy, and it can really help move that forward. So that's EFT. Over to you, Jose. Talk about NLP, and then I'll talk about KFC, and then Mackie D.
There we go. And then Nando's. I don't know if people know Nando's, but for
Nando's
some
C.
reason, another chicken came to mind.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it doesn't have a da. It's just
No, it doesn't. No, I messed up again. Yeah, you're right. So I'm going to say that I'm tired, and that could happen as well when you're speaking. So I am tired today because I've been over celebrating my birthday. And so NLP, neuro linguistic programming, the study of the structure of subjective experience. Okay, and I'm not going to dive deeper into this. I've got plenty of material. If you want to know more, there is loads on the internet. But what is also very important, and we always say it here, is what you do with the knowledge, how you apply it. So when it comes to NLP, there is anchoring, for example. And anchoring can be, you just take your emotional state to a high level, and you can do a bit of visualization with meditation, and you get to the point, the high point where you want to be, your vibration to the highest level possible in terms of your presenting, in terms of being confident for your presentation, for example, and then you anchor it in a part of your body. It's a very kinesthetic process, this type of anchoring that I'm speaking about. And then I'm touching my knuckles here, you're showing you on the screen, but it can be any other area of your body. There is a very specific technique, a very specific way to do this. You can clench your, Elliot just raised his eyebrows for whatever reason. I'm not going to comment on that, but you can also clench your fist. There are different ways. And I remember, Elliot, when I don't run, it's not one of my things, but when I started running, a while ago, about 5-6 years ago, I started running and doing park runs, 5Ks and things like that. And I would always clench my fist and tap my heart. Every time I did that, a whole level of new energy would kick in and, go throughout my body. So that was an anchor that I created for the purpose. Even today, it works. So that's one of them. Also, combining all of this, what do you like doing? What do you like hearing to? So even running, whatever exercise, healthy routine like that can help you as well to put yourself, in the right mindset for a presentation. What do? I listen to music. My thing is listening to music and jumping jacks quickly. I do like 10, listening to some, music I like. And that is another, speaking of anchoring, that's another thing. But this is just something you can find your own resources. When you are the happiest, what are you doing? When you are the happiest, that to you is like what? Or when you are energized, that to you is like what? You see, so you can start asking yourself different types of questions as well, and you will come up with resources. It's not just what Elliot and I share here, because you only have the podcast when you listen to it. But you're about to present, you're feeling tired, drained, what can you do? Then, what's your favorite piece of music? What's your best memory? For me, Elliot, I go and think about my grandparents, especially my granddad. Nothing can stop me when I really connect with that feeling. It's just like, whatever happens, I know he loved me, I loved him back. And all of that feeling comes through me when I'm presenting. You see, you've got all of the resources up here. Remember, the quality of the questions will determine in a big part the quality of your presentation, the quality of your presenting or your state as well. So, Elliot, I know we've got loads to share on this topic, so I'm going to pass on the mic to you as well for maybe another tip and people.
Yeah, very quickly. I think also if you go to the Elliot and Jose show on Instagram and you tap into the complimentary membership, we've got a bunch of resources, and one of them is a booklet I designed around how to deal with nerves when we interviewed a whole bunch of professional speakers, how they do it. So it's probably worth tapping into that and downloading that as well. The last thing I'll talk about, because you mentioned exercise, you mentioned music as well, which is fantastic. I guess we could, affirmation incantations. The thing with affirmations is they can be really great or really terrible. And the thing is behind using affirmations effectively, is you have to believe them. That's the thing. A lot of people go, I am a great speaker, I am a confident speaker, but if inherently unconsciously you don't believe them, they're not going to work. But you could, and that's why I'm always skeptical about recommending affirmations, but I have affirmations. I have incantations. Again, Tony Robbins calls them incantations. They're basically affirmations, which Tony Robbins has given a different term to. So he, and that's fine because everybody finds their own ways to explain something. If you don't believe you're a great speaker, then maybe you can say, and this is again intentions, but instead of saying I'm a great speaker, say I'm a comfortable speaker. I'm a good speaker. You can up your affirmations and then become I'm a great speaker, I'm the greatest speaker in the world. And it's not for me to tell you, you should or shouldn't say this or that, but what's important behind it is the belief, right? So, I do the whole, I command my subconscious to allow me to show up in certainty. I command my subconscious to allow me to show up in my greatness. Allow me to serve this audience to my best ability. And then intention setting. What's your intention? I'll give you an example. When I run, because I run weekly and I do half marathons, while I set goals to, beat my personal best and things like that, my intention is always to cross the line with a smile on my face, right? So I can do an affirmation going, I'm a great runner and I will enjoy the experience. And then what I do is I look for things to reaffirm that as I'm running. I'll always keep my head up. I'll say hello to cows if I need to. I'll always, when it's an official race, I'll clap the marshals because that's a good thing to show gratitude. So again, your state management, but if you can set clear affirmations you believe in. So if you're a nervous speaker, maybe I can be calm, right? I can be a calm speaker. I can be a calm speaker versus I am a calm speaker when you're nervous, when you're shaking. I'm clearly not a calm speaker, so this isn't working. So it's just a tool. So you really need to find your way when it comes down to everything we've shared today in this episode. Take a combo, test them out, do some meditations, do some affirmations, do some as NFT. What's NFT? NFT is completely something different. EFT. Do some, test it out. Do some thinking, thought-provoking stuff, which, Jose, test it out. Again, when I work with this guy, what he went for completely surprised me. He went for anchoring. He went for EFT, which I completely thought he would poo-poo, and visualization, because I taught him this whole range, and he chose those top three, which he still does till today. So test them because you'll surprise yourself. The key thing behind it all is you have to believe they're going to work. One of them has to believe they're going to work. And Jose and I have both worked with someone who came to us and didn't believe in a process, and therefore it didn't work. So it's not going to work if you're not going to believe it's going to work. Right? So just make sure that whatever you go, just have that design, the intention to want them to work. Then allow them to show you they can work. And that's the thing. Jose, over to you for the final word.
Well, it is also, Elliot, you mentioned something very important. It is your responsibility. It isn't anyone else's responsibility to help you. I mean, we can help, you can read, you can do, believe, and then it is your responsibility. So take ownership. Own the process, believe it will work. And Elliot just said it. If you think it's just going to be too much to go from nerve-wracking state to super confident, what's in between? Or what's actually, if you can, the stepping stones that we've spoken about in the past. So if you were going to, choose different states that will help you get there, what would it be? There's loads of things you can do, people. I'm not going to say anything else. Actually, what I want you to do, if you've listened to this, once you listen, you get to this point, you go and send Elliot and myself a message on social media, wherever you find us, our website,